So tonight I am doing probably what's my favorite cocktail, and I make a really good one. I'm not saying restaurants don't do it right, but mine's really good. So unless you go to like a really swanky cocktail bar, obviously they have really good ones, but I make a pretty good one. So I'm gonna be making an old fashioned tonight. And so I'm gonna be using some bourbon that I recently got. It's called Pure Kentucky. I got it from a distillery in Kentucky called Willett. Got one of their stickers too for the bar fridge. And they had a lot of really good ones. I got to try quite a few in there as part of their tasting tour. So I'm gonna be using that. I haven't used it yet since I got it, but it was really good at the tasting. So I'm gonna start with a rocks glass, and we're gonna build everything in the glass. I'm gonna start by muddling a few things together. I've got 1 teaspoon of sugar, got 1 teaspoon of water. You could use a simple syrup in place of these, I suppose. And I'm gonna take 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. And Angostura bitters is basically just a herbal alcohol. It's, I was just looking it up, it's like 40% alcohol, so you just use it to flavor cocktails. It says it has some medicinal values and it's used in some foods, but for the most part it's not. It's a nice reddish brown color, and I'm just gonna mash this down, trying to dissolve the sugar in the bitters and water. It's gonna just give it a nice syrupy flavor. Add some sweetness to the bourbon. All right. Okay, so next I'm going to fill the glass with ice. So I've got that here. I'm gonna get this drink nice and cold, so I filled it up all the way. And I'm gonna take 2 shots of my bourbon. And honestly, any bourbon will be fine. I mean, I probably would stay away from a Jim Beam, when you're drinking it mostly straight up. Spill a little there. You wanna have a good bourbon. It's a little tricky pouring it in with the ice there. So the next thing I'm gonna do is stir until this gets nice and cold. It's kind of hard to do it with the ice, but maybe there's a technique I don't know about. There we go, see? That looks so professional. You definitely want the bourbon to get nice and cold. It's just not gonna be right. And also you wanna get everything nice and mixed up. Now, I know a lot of people think bourbon drinks, it's really strong. I personally don't think this drink is that strong. I think it's got a nice sugary flavor to it with the sugar that's in there in the water. Now, the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some garnish, but before I put in the orange twist for garnish, I'm gonna rub the orange rind around the rim of my glass, which will give every little drink a little bit of a citrus flavor to it. So I'm gonna garnish it with an orange twist, which is kind of like the signature. And then I've also got a couple of bourbon cherries from Woodford Reserve. Now, a little history before I take my drink of this is the drink actually started in the, there's a lot of accounts of when it was invented, but I think the actual name Old Fashioned with these ingredients was in the 1880s in Louisville. It's like the official drink of their city, but it's been contested that that's not really where it started. But yeah, it's definitely a solid drink that I get whenever I see it at a good bar. So I'm gonna give it a little try here. It's a sippable drink. I mean, I don't want to make you think it's a sweet drink because it's really not sweet, but that bourbon definitely has that sugar coming through for you, but it's still a very sippable drink. And the orange, I just started doing that with the orange around the rim. It really does give it a nice citrusy flavor, but not too much. It's such a good cocktail. Nice Friday night after work, just to kind of chill out for the evening. So I hope you like the video, and hopefully you'll try to make your own old fashions. It's really easy, just a few ingredients. Angostura bitters, you can get those at any liquor store. Definitely make your own, they're really good. Have a great weekend.